Apparently, the leftist discourse of the week is pride parades, and what degree of sexual behaviour and fetishism should be tolerated at these public events. So I decided that I had to weigh in on the topic myself. I think this issue is very simple. Overtly sexual behaviour, highly sexualized clothing, and fetishism have no place in public. They should remain at private venues, away from the eyes of regular people in the public who do not want to see that stuff, and who are quite often children and young people. Keep in mind that by overtly sexual behaviour, I do not mean kissing and very basic public displays of affection. I am talking about overtly sexual behaviours such as highly sexualized outfits and enactments of sexual fetishes and kinks. Now, I'm going to respond to the two counterpoints that pop up all the time. One of them is that homophobes will be joining in these attacks on pride. Of course, these people are not making good faith criticisms. They just dislike gay people, but this is not what this issue is about. Okay, these are just right-wingers, as usual, taking advantage of the situation to take a few homophobic jabs. And the other thing is, some people will say, but where do we draw a consistent line on these things? How do we make some consistent standard of what's sexual and what isn't? Of course, a standard won't be perfect. No standard ever is. There's always a slightly blurred line, but we just make the best standard we can and try to apply that. If you think this argument is good, then why don't we just get rid of all standards? No. All standards lines are a little bit blurred, but we keep them anyway because they offer us some utility. Obviously, these standards should be applied consistently across both gay and straight communities. Okay, so anyway, back on point. Consenting individuals can engage with this stuff in private venues. Such activities do not belong in public. In a civil society, we should not be exposing random members of the public, including children, to highly sexualized clothing and behavior. This is unacceptable. Sexual fetishism of any sort belongs in private, where only consenting individuals have to see it. It does not belong in public settings. Pride is about being comfortable with yourself and around people who have dealt with similar struggles to you based on an oppressed identity. Pride is not some kind of sexual horror show. Acting as if it is a perversion of the idea of pride. LGBT children should be welcome in pride and able to feel that they belong. They are often more alone and in more need of support from people with similar experiences than anyone. I will not see them alienated from pride by those who want to see it sexually perverted into some sort of strange sexual circus. Pride needs to be a safe place for young, struggling people. The last thing they need is for it to become some kind of highly sexualized public pornography, which is a complete optical nightmare, by the way. This is obviously an awful idea, and those are basically my thoughts. Highly sexual activity belongs in private. It is that simple, and you all know what I mean when I say highly sexual. Don't pretend that's hard to define.